WoW 2022. This is the title of the video. I returned to WoW. Is it really that bad?
Is starting patch 9.2 a bloody horrible experience, especially on a new toon? Shadowlands has got layers of progression, right? And I think people just think, oh, renown for soulbinds and conduits.
Yeah.
Getting the actual conduits themselves. Getting legendary powers. Getting legendary crafting resources. Getting money for legendaries. Doing years of Torghast. Korthia, domination shards.
Oh, wow.
Turns out you don't have to do those at all.
That's a good
All
thing.
of this can seem like a lot, and anytime like I bring up the prospect of playing WoW again, I just get a million messages of like, lol no, from loads of people. So today I wanted to sit down, cut through
That's
all
you
that,
guys.
and work out what's it actually like getting started on a fresh character in 9.2. Does it suck? Does it feel like people would have you believe? Or have Blizzard actually done plenty to cut down the chores, making it a pretty decent experience? The answer, it depends. Big time.
Okay.
What do we want? Well, we want decent gear to get started. We want plenty of renown, because that unlocks soulbinds, the conduit slots, and of course the empowerments for those conduit slots. Then we want to get the actual conduits themselves, and I suppose ideally at a decent item level.
Yeah,
ideally. We'll want a
ideally.
legendary, perhaps a few of them. And of course that's going to mean we'll need some soul ash, we'll need some soul cinders, we'll need the legendary memories as well, plus a heap of gold. This is where things could go excellently if you've got a character at renown level 80, alright? If you do, then go to this vendor in Oribos. 500 gold gets you the item that lets you set renown to level 40 on an alt. And then another 500 gold gets you the one that learns all conduits at high level 200. And even beyond that, you can send anima to your alts 1,000 at a time for no fee. Now this is...
See, there's like a lot of things, like, so if it was me designing the game, this is what I would do. I would make Renown account wide, and I'd make your Anima Cache account wide. I would just do that. Yep. I'd make it to where if you get Renown, your highest level, you do it, that's it, it'd be done. And there wouldn't be any problems. There wouldn't be any issues. It's pay to win. Oh, WoW is pay to win? Yeah, of course it is. But like, yeah, that would be it. And why isn't Blizzard doing that? In my opinion, if you want my honest, genuine, 100% straight up, real talk, no bullshit, Skrilla on a stack, for real, because they don't have any fucking idea what they're doing. That's why. They have no fucking idea what they're doing. That's why. That's the real reason. It's not a secret. It's not like, oh, well, it's actually just, they have no idea what they're doing. Yeah. That's all there is to it. Like, they're bad at designing systems. Like, the entire systems development team in World of Warcraft has been ruining the game for the past 5 years. Full stop. The content has been fine. The raids have been good. The story has been mediocre, just like it always has been. The dungeons are good. All of the other content is good. The problem is the systems that incentivize the gameplay. The systems are fucking garbage. They are so bad, and they are strangling the life out of the game.
Is big. Then there's a vendor in the new 9.2 hub that sells eye-level 226 gear tokens for 500 anima apiece.
Yeah. So,
what, 12 tokens for all your gear, then, you know, weapons and trinkets, those are a single token each, so you'll probably need more than one. So let's just say 18 tokens in total. That's a whole 226 set, and that would cost 9,000 anima. Now, I barely even played 9.1, like I basically just raid logged and then the guild stopped raiding, and I have 20,000 anima. So that kind of bodes well for most of us.
This is good. I mean, this is a good thing. I would say I'm happy about this. Louder? Yeah, okay, I'll make it a little bit louder. I don't know if you guys couldn't hear it. So yeah, I mean, like, wouldn't 226 be dog shit in 9.2? Yeah, it would be, but it's still a lot better than what you would get normally, right? Because you start at, like, what is it, like a base item level at like 60 is like 171 or something like that, 164. Like, it's really low. So yeah, 226 is super fucking low, but it's for people that just hit max level, guys. Yeah, it's 154. Yeah, there you go. And yeah, it's super fucking low. 184 was mythic. I remember that. Textures of the zone look really bad, like they were older and better expansions. I feel like the textures in Zereth Mortis they tried to make it different, but like, yeah, look at these. Like, that doesn't, straight up, like, that doesn't look good. It looks like it got, you know, it looks like that Photoshop of like a guy that Photoshopped the dragon onto a lake and it says this looks like it was photoshopped, well, it's just like that picture.
Then, well, yep, that Orbos vendor will get all of them to 200, assuming that your main is renown level 80. Now, if you hit friendly with the Enlightened faction in 9.2, then you'll be able to buy this item from their vendor. It's the same as the other one, but it sets them all to item level 226.
See, it should be account wide. Yeah, it should be account wide. Why is it not account wide? What do you think? Somebody wants to farm Revered on their alt just so they can overcome this transient system that will be gone in less than a year? Like, what moron thought of this?
Everyone will hit friendly in no time, which just makes basic conduit coverage trivial.
No, it doesn't, because you're going to have to hit friendly on all your characters. This is the thing, is that all of these systems, the problem with the systems is the fact that you have to do them on alts. A lot of people don't realize how important alts are. There are a lot of times that people would quit the game, but they play another character instead. How many of you guys were bored playing your main and you moved over to play an alt and you're like, wow, this is pretty fun. I enjoy this. I did this many times. Everybody does this. It's the same thing. Also, by the way, it's the same thing that people do in Final Fantasy. It's, oh, wow, I'm playing Warrior. I'm kind of bored of playing Warrior. You know, I'm tired of being able to solo raid bosses. Let's actually make it hard again. And, you know, you play something else instead. And then, like, let's say, okay, well, in Lost Ark, man, I want to play my Berserker, but, you know, I want to see what a Paladin's like instead. And, you know, have shields and be able to help out the party. So you go over and you just boost a Paladin and you play a Paladin. And there's a lot of the systems that are account-wide in that game too. And the fact is that whenever you have account-wide systems, you allow people to move between characters. The idea is to reduce friction. You reduce friction between allowing people to do what they want to do. Making people farm for friendly or revered is fine once. But after it happens the first time, it should be done with. Would you get bored quicker? No, it's the opposite. Because you would get bored farming. Like, so for me, right? Like, I would want to play right now. I'd want to play my DK more, my Death Knight more in WoW. But I don't do it because I would have to farm Torghast. I would have to farm conduits. I would have to farm all these other things. I don't want to do this. There are so many artificial barriers in front of me in order to just do what I want to do, that I choose not to do it. So like 4 hours of gameplay? Yes. I don't want to do it. Yeah, I don't want to do it. No, yeah, that's exactly right. Yes, if it's 1 hour of gameplay, I'd rather just not do it. I'd rather just do something else. It's not fun. Why should it even be 4 seconds? Please explain to me why it should be 4 seconds. Why? Please explain why we should compromise on having our time wasted on a game that we pay for every month. We should not compromise in the slightest. It's bullshit. It's a waste of my fucking time.
Just like what squarespace.com/Bellular Gaming, today's sponsor, does for the web. And go to that link, you'll get a discount. Now, the Pale Beyond's reveal was almost upon me a few months ago, and not really that much was done. I needed a website quick, so over the weekend I hopped onto Squarespace's very easy to use site builder, and Bellular.games came into being real quick. This time I even used some custom CSS, some code injection.
Amazing.
And that's really what's cool.
That looks really cool.
Easy to use tools, but also plenty of
it looks like Lost Ark kind of in a way.
If you really want to. And they've also got things like easy to add memberships, email lists, e-commerce, and loads of other fantastic features.
Websites all the time? Yeah, I know.
So from what I built in like 40 minutes just chilling with my iPad on the sofa with their award-winning templates, to a more in-depth build like our games one, Squarespace just is the fast and easy way for you to get a fantastic looking web presence. And having that is an important thing. It's going to be people's first impression.
Bro, I thought that said Cosby Plant right there. What the fuck?
Really count. So just go over to squarespace.com/Bellular Gaming. Use that Bellular Gaming code as well for 10% off.
Somebody wanted me to skip the ad. All right, Kanye West. You have to type the following right now or you get banned in chat. Thank you, Bellular, for telling me about this. I will use your promotion code immediately. I want you to, you have to type it or you're getting banned. No, not you guys. Not you guys. Let's see. Did he say anything? Wait, he ran away. He left the, no shot. He left the fuck, oh my God. Why would you leave now? The ad's over. Ban me and no album. Fine. It was never gonna come out anyway and Dondo was mid.
So thanks to Squarespace, and let's talk renown. If you don't have a character at renown level 80,
you're done.
Oh boy. First, hey, that's me. Second, yeah, for us it's a bit more complicated.
I really don't think it was that
if
great.
your main character is above renown level 40, like mine is, then it makes sense to get your main to renown level 80.
Sorry, I just want to go off on this tangent. Like, do you remember how good it was listening to fucking Late Graduation? How good it was listening to like 808s and Heartbreak? And even fucking My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy? Do y'all remember how fucking good that was in the 2000s? And like, dude, those albums, even like Black Skinhead was good. I feel like Dondo was just, it was, I don't know. It just like, it didn't have like a lot of like tracks that I like really liked. Like Church? Yeah, it didn't feel good. Yeah, it just straight up did not feel good. College Dropout? Yeah. Yeah, like I remember I started, I think mine was, first one I did was like Late Graduation, I think, or College Dropout, I don't remember. It was like 2004. Yeah, it's just like, compared to his old stuff, like it's just not even, it's not even comparable. He didn't fall off. No, he just had a bad album, that's all. Kanye is gonna be back. He'll make good, I think Kanye West is probably one of the, he's probably one of the greatest artists that we have right now for hip hop. Like, I'm not gonna let anybody tell me otherwise. Like, he's actually, he's one of the greatest. I love Kanye West, but I just feel like recently it's been a little bit off the rails. But we'll wait for him to come back. You know, he'll be back. He'll be all right.
80, so you can then give your alt the boost to 40. Now that's especially good if you get your alt up to renown level 40, and then level your alt from levels 50 through to 60 using the Threads of Fate system, because doing that...
Bro, fuck that garbage. Like, are you kidding me? You want me to do Threads of Fate? You just kill mobs in an area mindlessly for fucking 20 minutes and you get a 20% of your experience? What a bunch of fucking garbage. No shot that we're gonna do that. No way. It's the worst thing ever. I'm never gonna do that.
You'll easily get 20 plus renown.
It's
You'll
faster
probably hit
now.
level 60 with like
still
65
boring.
renown in your new alt. So you'll be leveling it anyway. If you do it in the right order, then bam, that's fantastic. Now the how here is a bit mixed though for increasing renown, be it on your main or on your new alt. The fastest way to do it is basically to chain run Torghast layer 9. Ideally a wing that's nice and short like Skoldus. Most of the runs will get you a renown level. It starts to taper off towards the end though. But you will also get a ton of Soul Ash, which is great. And even some Soul Cinders.
Wow.
Now, this is pretty effective, but it's not that fun because it's quite repetitive. But on the bright side, all that Soul Ash can be...
The problem with Torghast is they don't have enough... they don't have enough unique types of abilities that you can get. Like, for example, like in Hades... there's like so many different levels of customization the game has. So like you have customization based off of like the hammers of Daedalus. You can choose a different weapon. You can choose your different they're like relics. I forgot what they're actually called. They're the little buffs that you have. You have like all of these different levels of like character customization that you can do like very, very early on that makes each run very different. So like if you're doing something with the Pyrexian sword, for example, that run is going to be completely fucking different than if you're doing it with the Eris Rail, for example, or like whatever the fuck it's called, right? Or with the bow. So, or with this shield, for example. A shield was my favorite weapon to use at the beginning. And that's what makes Hades a good roguelike game, is because it's so dynamic. The problem with Torghast is that every run pretty much feels the same, and you don't have anything that really challenges you. Now, in 9.2, they're changing that in some ways, and we're going to see what they do, and we're going to see how this boss rush thing works and everything like that. Like, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I'm not really expecting a miracle. I'm going to be completely honest. But the reason, like, I think that they can build Torghast into a good roguelike. And I think that Torghast has gotten better, and right now Torghast is in a better state than it's ever been in, but you're going from 0 to 1. So like, or probably like 2 to 3, really. Like, it's slightly better, but it's still bad. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's better, but it's bad. They're going to abandon it. If Blizzard abandons Torghast and they just say fuck it, I will be so disappointed, because that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did with Island Expeditions. Is that Island Expeditions, they were trying to make them better, and then they just gave up. It's just
transferred over
so
to
disappointing
your new
to see.
alt. Yeah, there's like a little bit of a tax on it, but you can do that. So right now, you can send Ash via this NPC in Korthia. When 9.2 drops, Cinders will be transferable, but you'll have to wait until 9.2. Then, there's actually patch 9.2's new boss rush mode called the Jailer's Gauntlet. Obviously, you can't do that right now to get caught up, but it does mean that, well, okay, Wowhead found
that's really cool. I want to try that.
A layer 3 of that dropped 1800 Soul Ash and 460 Cinders. That basically means that it is another way to just get those legendary resources pretty damn quick. I mean, a rank 6 legendary costs 5,150 Ash and 1,650 Cinders. And with the current rates of acquisition, honestly, it's just not that bad. Now, thankfully then, the new patch 9.2 legendary rank, that requires Cosmic Flux. That's a 9.2 currency, you don't have to worry about that right now, and you'll basically get it by just doing whatever you're doing anyway. Now, what all of this does mean, though, is that the
Is Cosmic Flux account-wide? No? Huh. That's crazy. That's crazy. Why is it not account-wide? Not until 9.3.5. Oh, man, that's nuts. Should I make a video and call it the biggest problem with WoW and talk about this issue? I will literally make a video and call it the biggest problem about WoW. I will clickbait the shit out of it, and I will do like a, you know, like a thumbnail. It's like this, you know, or some kind of bullshit free ad revenue. Yeah, I just don't. I might do that after tonight. Like, I might do it tonight before sun goes down.
Of catching up on renown on your main character in order to get your alt the renown level 40 boost. For me, because I was doing that partially via Torghast, it meant I got loads of Soul Ash and a decent amount of Cinders, which is exactly what my new alt is going to need for its legendary. So if you then diversify how you earn that renown a little bit, maybe doing the Korthia Shaping Fate quest, then you'll also earn some anima. Of course, that anima can be sent over to your alt to buy those new item level 226 gear tokens. Oh, and if you've got the cash, then the new crafted gear in 9.2 is eye level 233. So that is a great option. Of course, only once the crafters actually are able to craft it, which will require Honored with the new inline rep. So far, then, it's not looking that bad. Just a little bit of time, but it's not that complex. Now, I can't say it's looking super fun. What else, then? Well, legendary power learning. That can be frustrating. I mean, for my Frost Mage, let's just say I want Freezing Winds and I want Slick Ice. That's going to involve killing Sire Denathrius, I guess via LFR, and then a layer 3 or above clear of Mort Vergar. Definitely chores, but not really that time consuming.
I don't feel like that one's as bad, because at least it's like it's core content, you know, you're doing something that's a little bit more unique, etc. But yeah, I would say it's super fun. Like, what's this ball, or what do y'all mean ball? What the hell is going on? Oh, did Nick raid me? Oh shit, yo, thank you, Nick. I appreciate that, dude.
The only thing that would really be a pain in the ass if your legendary memory was tied to a world boss or, well, you know, obviously a Torghast wing that's just not available. And, you know, in whatever week you're watching this video. Now, there are legendary power learning items, you know, the ones that just randomly learn a power, but because they just unlock one at random, I wouldn't really rely on that for getting the one you want on your new alt.
Yeah, it sucks.
As for the rest then, being real, like, you can just jump straight into 9.2. You don't really need to do a lot of busy work beforehand to do the Zereth Mortis campaign. And of course, if you do the Zereth Mortis campaign in your main, and then you try to take an alt through that, you can actually skip to you can skip chapters 1, 2, and 3. Which just gets you the full zone unlocked. And that means that on the whole, this stuff is not that bad, really. It's not fantastic. I mean, ultimately, in order to get my new character to start feeling okay, yeah, I'm having to do a bunch of busy work on my main character. Callings, Torghast, Shaping Fate, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, the good news there is because of the anima that I can then turn into alt gear, and then Lego resources, I am knocking out many birds with one stone. But the bad thing is that all that gameplay in my main is purely just a means to an end. What motivates me to play WoW right now? I want to have fun on my Frost Mage.
Yeah.
So when I'm not doing that, it doesn't feel good.
Exactly.
You know, it's not that enjoyable, and it does reflect
Exactly.
how Shadowlands just hasn't really had that much fun content outside of the grouped stuff.
It has fun content. Like, you can do things that are fun. It's the same thing with BFA. Like, you could have had, as I said before, how many of you guys would have enjoyed BFA a lot more if you were able to use max level corruptions on your gear whenever you first played your alts? Like, I would have loved BFA. I would have thought it would be fucking awesome. It was one of the most, like, fucking just ape shit things that Blizzard ever did, is give people all those abilities. It would have been fucking awesome. And you couldn't do that. Why? It's because these systems, again, it's the systems that are strangling the life out of the game. They are just killing the game by existing.
I mean, at a basic level, getting an alt up to essentially being quite playable, that's easy. But what about optimal?
Yeah.
Well, you'll basically need to get that alt up to renown level 80 to empower your conduits. And
not
that's
have to
going to
do
mean
that.
just doing a bunch of content. So if you want to hyper grind that,
Fuck
it's going
that.
to absolutely suck, right? Because just
Yeah.
doing Torghast layer 9s. But if you, like me, are content to just slowly get that over weeks as you do stuff, then it's not going to feel that bad. You know, hyper game it. It'll be not.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Like, basically, like, you'll get everything that you need if you're playing the game just consistently. Yeah, you're just playing the game consistently. Playing Lost Ark today? Yeah, I'm gonna do like a couple of videos, and then we're gonna start Lost Ark. I got like 2 more to do, and then we're gonna move on.
But this is
Yeah.
the sort of thing that happens when
Yeah.
you slot a system like Renown into an expansion and then tie it to the borrowed power. It just ties all these things together. And then as for the conduits themselves, look, I am happy enough with iLevel 226. If you want to upgrade them beyond that, then basically there's the Korthia upgrade items. I don't think anyone wants to do that shit again. Of course, in the new patch, Mythic Plus and Raids
true.
do drop the conduits at updated item levels. But oddly enough, 9.2 has got no conduit upgrade item like 9.0 or 9.1 does. Maybe they'll patch one in, but it's the release candidate right now and it ain't there.
What?
So you're either getting the old ones via Korthia, which no one in their right mind will want to do, or there is the big item that brings all your Covenant or your conduits to, I think, 278. But that involves like
Don't you have to? Yeah, you have to get like Gladiator or something like that for this, right?
super high PvP.
Yeah.
Completing the Mythic raid,
the fuck?
or like, you know, doing the Mythic raid equivalent for dungeons, for Mythic Plus dungeons. So it's more of a like.
Yeah, that's also only for one character. Someone says you're just lazy. Perhaps you forgot character progression. What you suggest is playing only one character and having a freebie on all your alts. That's not how the game works. So what you suggest is playing one character and then having a freebie on all your alts. That is exactly what I suggest. That is exactly what I am suggesting. That's right. Yes. I just want to make it sure it's very, very clear. That's exactly what I mean.
Big reward at the end than it is a catch-up. Still, there is a weird gap in it, because if your conduit isn't on the Mythic Plus or Raid loot table, then what? Are you really going back to Korthia in search of the 252 upgrades? I mean, that's utter insanity, so I imagine... Surely it can't go live like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. To bring this video into a conclusion, really, it's not a horrible experience. It's not that bad to start a new alt in Shadowlands.
Well, that's kind of, that's a bad start, isn't it? Yeah, that's a bad start. That would fuck up engagement metrics. See, that's what I disagree with. I actually think this would help engagement metrics. Because in my opinion, I think that if you give people more freedom to do what they want, they're going to play the game in a way that they want. Like, I would have played more of BFA if I could play more characters. I would have played more of Shadowlands if I could play more characters. The reason why I don't play the game as much is because I'm forced on playing on one character because I've invested so much time into completing the secondary systems on that character, and I don't want to repeat that busy work. Like, that's really what it is. And that is a loss of an engagement metric. Do you think a bunch of people are going to farm out all this stuff on all their characters? No, they're just not going to play. Nobody wants to do that. It's boring. You're going to have some people that do that, but most people will not. You only play Warrior, though? That's not true. I used to play all kinds of other alts. Like, my Warrior was always my main. I played him most of the time, of course, right? But, like, I had tons of alts that I would play constantly.
may have been a different
My
answer.
paladin
in the
was
past,
more geared than my warrior in
but
ICC.
they've done a good job with the catch-up systems, even though they're not particularly intuitive. And you really do need a guide
Paladin
like
takes are
this,
so OP.
or maybe a Wowhead
Oh my
article
God.
to steer you in the right direction. Starting the game fresh right now, it would be pretty darn rough. And I think trying to feel fully optimal, I don't think that will be fun. Really, it's the sort of thing that feels worse than it is for a use case like mine. And that's not to discount people's feelings. It feels like that because these systems don't feel good. Zooming through a rubbish top-level design is better than trudging through it, but that doesn't make it a fun experience.
No.
Also, having these layers of systems, that means that Blizzard constantly needs to think about catch-up systems with every single patch. And those catch-up systems will always devalue people's past efforts. And
Yes,
that just
they
does
will.
leave me
Exactly.
thinking that we need to reinvest in class fundamentals. We need to strip out that borrowed power. We need to increase the end game variety via new modalities of progression, maybe revamped mounts that are more exciting, player housing, guild housing, maybe a little plot of land, a farm, new forms of world content.
I think we've had that before.
You know, new things, more horizontal. I think do that, and then we won't be in this funky situation where, you know, all of the game feels so small because it's just tied into the 3 endgame pillars, right? With it all just being this, like, single big progression. I'm excited to get stuck into a mage. And I am glad that the development team have broken down those barriers. I'm very appreciative of it.
Absolutely.
I mean, if they didn't do that, I wouldn't be playing this patch. But I just cannot help but feel that there's another way. Perhaps more account-wide progress is the answer here. You know, in such a way that swapping classes could feel a bit more like swapping jobs in FF14. Because that's very much a game where, you know, you swap your job, you level it, you get some gear.
Yes.
That's it.
That's
You're
it.
done. All the other stuff's tied to your character.
Oh my God.
You know, and the sorts of busy work that exist in WoW just don't exist in FF. And I'm sure that leads to less playtime, but I think it leads to happier people. One thing that feels extra bad, though, is that I don't want to touch my mage and do any renown eligible activity until I've ground out renown level 80 and the boost on my main. Because if I earn a renown level while my mage is under renown level 40, then because I'll just use the item, get 40 anyway, my efforts will be wasted.
Exactly.
Right? So what I want to do is play the mage. But right now, the reward structure of World of Warcraft makes me feel like I'm doing the wrong thing to play my mage. And I think that's a fundamental problem. Now, for me, I don't give a toss about, you know, optimizing my conduits beyond 226. I'm just going to take what I can get. But even just having the character feel playable, that is hit by not wanting to do the renown progression in the wrong order. I think this is a very fundamental problem to the Shadowlands expansion. It's one they've tried to fix via these little band-aid catch-up thingies. But once we're in 10.0, it shouldn't exist, and I really hope we'll be benefiting from a development team who, months ago, did listen and did implement those various different skips that I've mentioned in today's video, and hopefully learned, because if they hadn't done those things,
it's that easy.
I really don't feel like it would be worth my while to play 9.2 now.
Yeah.
But because
Fuck that.
it's actually not that bad to start a new alt in 9.2,
Fuck
I'm
that,
pretty
dude.
excited to just try Frostmage for the fun. Yeah, I'm in.
That's the video right there. It's Bellular. He does plenty of WoW content, does Final Fantasy content too. He did a little bit of Lost Ark content, but we'll see how far that goes. Just in general, man. Just in general, I feel like this whole problem with WoW, the biggest problem with World of Warcraft, just in general, all together, everything like that, is the systems. The systems are the biggest problem in the game. That is the main fucking thing. The systems are strangling the life out of the game. They are demotivating players to play the game. They make it to where you can't do alts. Like, listen, let me just draw. I'm gonna mint a new NFT, okay? And I want to explain why this is an issue. Okay, so you have, this is max level, and max level is 80, and then Lich King, right? And max level now is 60, and we're gonna see Sylvanas, right? So in order to get from level 80, you just hit level 80 to fight the Lich King, you need what? You need gear. What else? What do you need? Okay, well, we're pretty much done then. All right, so now let's see. In order to get 60, fight Sylvanas. You need gear, conduits. Let's see here. What else do we have? Legendaries. Where's the rest of it? Soul Ash, Torghast, Renown. Let's see here. What's the rest of these? Enchant. No, you need enchants back then. Shards of Domination. Shards of Domination. What are these here? Raid Gems. Yep, you got that one there. Soul Binds. How could we forget Soul Binds? Oh my God, Soul Binds. Let's see. What's the other ones here? Socket of Gear. You had that back then. It's not really the same. It's just gear. Okay, Guild. Socket of Gear. Korthia. Research. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, putting sockets in gear. Yeah, Socket of Gear. Korthia. Research. Sockets. So, which one is a more fun experience? This one was more fun. This one was more fun because nobody goes around and nobody wants to farm conduits on alts. Nobody wants to do soul binds on alts. Nobody ever wants to do shards of domination even on their main. Nobody gives a fuck about Korthia research. Nobody cares about renown. The only three that you could say are to some degree interesting for some people are choosing and making their legendary, doing Torghast, and the gear. So basically, the reason why people aren't playing the game and the reason why they quit is because they can play alts and alts extend the freshness of the game. But right now, there are so many things that disincentivize you from playing an alt. You are most incentivized to play on your main that you're bored of. Back in Wrath of the Lich King, I had 8 characters at level 80, and I was raiding on at least half of them every single week in TOC and or in ICC. And the reason for that is because I could go in and I could raid on that character, and there were no barriers to entry. I could just have my friends maybe help me get some gear in like a TOC dungeon, and then after that, I get into like maybe a 10-man, I get a couple pieces of gear there, do some 5-man dungeons, get the badges, buy the gear, and then maybe now I can do my own pub, and it's okay. And then after that, you just have kind of like Lost Ark. Yeah, I mean, well, Lost Ark, I'm not sure exactly how Lost Ark works with end games and alts yet. I have no idea. But what I'm saying is that for this is how it worked with Wrath of the Lich King. And it was so much fucking better, man. It was 1,000 times better. And like, for example, I would get really, really bored. And I'll tell you one thing, you know what made me a lot less bored? Playing my shaman with instant cast chain lightning in patch 4.3. I remember I went to the fucking PTR. This was back 10 years ago. And the only thing I saw were a bunch of Draenei and Dwarven shamans spamming chain lightning at the target dummies like they were Darth motherfucking Sidious. And it was so cool. Then it gets added into the game. I'm playing that shaman. I'm getting barbecue beard gear. It's fucking awesome. I'm having fun. And I'm not playing my warrior anymore. I'm tired of playing my warrior. I beat the game on my warrior. I'm done. But because I can just immediately go over and play this alt character, it's totally okay. And the part where this stopped happening was in Mists of Pandaria with the legendary cloak, because farming out your legendary cloak on an alt was absolute, complete, unadulterated, like just absolute dog shit. It sucked. I did it on 2 characters. It was terrible. Then in Warlords of Draenor, it got even worse because now you have the legendary ring, and the legendary ring, it was just way better than the cloak was, because it offered not only you a bonus to your damage, but it made the entire raid more powerful. So it wasn't just like, oh, well, now you're more powerful. You also need it because the raid wants to become more powerful. And then after that, finally Legion comes out, and now you have like 6 different systems that you each have to do in order to make each character viable. And it's not fun to do. It's just simply not fun to do. And it's fun to do the systems, and in my opinion, it was really cool unlocking my artifact weapon on my warrior for the first time in Legion. It wasn't as cool doing it on my alt. It wasn't as cool doing it on my second alt. It was just busy work. These secondary systems only can be done once and partially enjoyed. I can guarantee you that the people that like farming out renown on alts I'm sure there are dozens of them. But I think there are thousands, tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of us out there that don't like it. Remove the busy work. Remove the barriers to playing alts. If the next expansion doesn't do this, I genuinely think that Blizzard is just, like, I don't know if the game will ever get better. Because they've made the same mistake for 5 years. 6 years now. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. Sorry, I talked about that for so long, but I just had to say it.